everybody. Welcome to this beautiful sunny day. If it's not sunny by you, absorb some of this energy that is coming through here. It is so gorgeous and beautiful in the sun. It just feels like this big hug, getting our bare feet on the earth, just grounding. So I thought I'd make a quick video showing you how to make an herbal elixir. So an elixir is just a fancy term for essentially an herbal tincture. So it's an alcohol extraction, but with the addition of honey. So the honey adds a really fun element, making it super delicious, making it fun to be able to add to mocktails, cocktails, smoothies, herbal tea, just your normal water, whatever it is, makes it a really delicious herbal creation. I love this because we only are using 3 ingredients. So what you're gonna need is whatever plant you're gonna be using. And today I have some beautiful, fresh magnolia. We've got the blossoms, and then I did harvest a few pieces to be able to pull some bark off of these. But yeah, go ahead and choose whatever plant you'd like, preferably fresh. But if you don't have fresh, you can also use dried. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start lightly packing a mason jar full of my plant material. And it helps if this process is, approached with patience and love. It's not really something you want to do with like bad energies, or at least I try to do this in a time where I'm feeling good, and that way I'm not going to transfer any weird energies into the medicine that I'm making. So I'm just going to go through these flowers. I'm kind of just adding them whole. Feel free to chop your plants up if you'd like. I don't find it totally necessary, especially with petals like this. Flower petals tend to break down pretty easily. So I'm just going to go ahead and load this up, and I'm going to come off camera for a moment because I'm going to get this bark off of here, but I'll come back in a little bit. Alrighty, so we went ahead and filled this baby up, added a couple pieces of bark in there, mostly the flowers, and you'll notice that I lightly packed this down so it's a little bit firm, but we don't want to push it down too much because we do want to leave room for the liquid to have room to do its work and extract all this beautiful plant medicine, right? So lightly pack all the way to the top. Choose a container that you are planning to fill to the top. So if this is too much, feel free to use a much smaller container, but just make sure you can fill it to the top. So we're going to start with 100 proof vodka. I like to go for 100 proof spirit of any kind. Vodka is just a good basic one to stick with, but if you'd like to choose something a little bit different based on what you're making, feel free. So yeah, just 100 proof alcohol. And basically we are just going to very gently, normally I'll do this on a table, but it's so beautiful that we just got to be out here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill this about 3/4 of the way full, and it's going to take a moment to make its way down through all of the blossoms, but we're at about right here, so let's keep going a little bit. And maybe around here we can kind of push out some of the water bubbles, or the air bubbles, water bubbles. Awesome. I think we'll stick with that. That looks pretty good. All right, this is the best part. We get to add our honey. Raw, local honey is best. If you can't get local, at least try to get raw. That way you know it hasn't been heated and pasteurized, and therefore all of the nutrients and benefits are gone. So has to be raw, preferably local. Throw our honey in here, or pour our honey in here, and we're aiming for about 1/4 of the way full. So we did 3/4 full of our alcohol, and then we're going to go ahead and finish it off with our honey. As you can see, I'm not using exact measurements. It takes a lot of the beauty and just the intuitive creation away from plants medicine making, so I don't measure a whole lot, but feel free to measure if that's your jam. So from here, we're going to give this baby a nice shake, and it's going to take a few minutes to blend and mix up the honey with alcohol. And this is a really good time to infuse some love or healing intentions in your medicine. And if if this doesn't feel good to you, if it doesn't feel right to you, if it feels too hokey or woo-woo for you, check out Dr. Emoto. He has some really awesome studies and science around changing the structures of water based on loving energy, healing energy, versus low, negative emotions, anger, shame, and fear. And he was able to show photos taken under a microscope of structures of water changing based on the energy frequencies. So it's a real thing, proven by science, if that's what you need to not think I'm so silly. So infuse this with your healing energy, whatever it is, whatever you feel like infusing into this, go for it, and shake it up, shake it up. I'll come back once we're all blended. All right, so we're not quite blended yet, but just for the sake of wrapping this video up, once it's all blended, you're going to notice that there's going to be some more space up at the top there, since your plant material is probably broken down already a little bit by the alcohol, and then of course the honey. So what I'll do is I'll just take a little bit of this, a little more vodka, and just top it off that last, half inch or so. You do want to try to make sure that you don't have a whole lot of airspace room. So when you put your mason jar lid on, or whatever container you're using, you want to make sure you only have a small amount of space up at the very top. So I just top it off. I let, so I'll just do it right here. Why not, right? So I'm just going to top it off almost to where it's going to overflow. And then where it does overflow a little bit, but that way we know that there's not a whole lot of air in there, because then it'll just cause it to oxidize and not be so good. So yes, there you go. There's your herbal elixir. You could do this with any plant. I wouldn't recommend doing it with mushrooms or hardier type things, just because you need to extract those a little bit differently. But that's another video for another time. So yes, hopefully you enjoyed that. Go and make your own elixir and tag me, send me some photos, ask me some questions. I'd love to see what you end up making for yourself. So, all right, happy medicine making.